the end of day one at Microsoft Ignite 2019 in sunny Orlando, Florida. It's about 8 o'clock at night, and I kind of wanted to do a recap of the day and share my thoughts and kind of my analysis and talk about some of the things that I saw in the Microsoft booth this evening. So the first one is Yammer. I think that probably today the biggest announcements that I saw were around Yammer specifically, and the hashtag Year of Yammer that's going around on Twitter. I think that really is going to be a huge undertaking for the Yammer team into 2020 is the redesign of Yammer, a ton of new features, a ton of new functionality. To start out with, the new Yammer is what they have it labeled in the booth is dark mode is coming to Yammer. So obviously dark mode's coming to everything else, but with the new UI, I mentioned that it's a Fluent UI, so it's using that new design language by Microsoft. And it's one of the first, if not the first application to be completely rewritten into this new design language. So it's exciting to see. It's got a new, cleaner kind of card layout as you're scrolling through, more streamlined of an experience. And the iconography in the application, in the web app, is more brightly colored, so they stand out a little bit more. It kind of differentiates a little bit better when you're setting a question versus a poll versus just a regular update. It's a little bit more clear, especially when you're asking a question, which I think is good because at our organization, I feel like the question is maybe a little bit hidden because the update is the default, and it's not super clear that question is there. I think by calling it out as a different color, that's going to be really nice. And one of the differences now with the new Yammer that's coming out is the ability to favorite your communities that you like. So if you click that little heart in Yammer, it will pin that to the top of your list of communities. So I think that'll be really nice because the ones that, they may not be the most active communities, but they're ones that you reference all the time. You can click the heart and have that pinned to the top of your list. That will be really helpful. Another big update to like the actual feed itself within a Yammer group or community is the ability to pin important announcements to the top of the group. So that's going to be something that we really, really like. I don't know if you're going to be able to like schedule how long that is pinned or something like that, but just the ability to make an announcement and pin that so it's stuck to the top of the group for a period of time, it's going to be huge for us so that we don't get, it lost in the shuffle. I know our group, Office 365 at Cerner, has 3,000 people in it. It's a lot of activity, a lot of questions. If I make an announcement, being able to have that stuck at the top of the group is going to be pretty huge for me specifically. Also, as a community manager perspective, we'll be able to close threads now. So that's going to be really nice to, I think it's going to help get more leadership engagement out of our organization specifically, to where if they want to say something and get some feedback for a period of time, then we can close the thread whenever, the communication is kind of come to a natural conclusion. You can go ahead and close that. People can still like it, but they can't comment anymore at that point. The next big major thing that I saw is mostly around the mobile app in Yammer that I'm really excited. Kasha from the product group showed Lance and I the new short form video features within there. I believe it was Flip Cam, I think is what she called it. So the tech that they acquired has been baked into the camera for the new Yammer experience. And it was really, really cool. Whenever you record a video, you can record it all inside the Yammer app, and you can annotate and kind of dress up that video while you're recording it. So you can add like emojis, smiley faces, things like that. Angus from the product team showed us the ability to attach photos to it. So he went into his camera roll, grabbed a transparent background Yammer logo, and he was able to add that. He added hashtag Year of Yammer to it. So you can kind of brand your video a little bit as you're recording it. And I think that's like huge. I saw a couple other buttons for like maybe being able to draw on the video while you're doing it. I didn't see that like actually demonstrated, but maybe I'll see it tomorrow. The other thing that she showed with short form video is the ability to trim and make like clips and things like that. So be able to edit it right on your phone, stay inside the Yammer app, and then just publish it right from there. They told me that currently the plan is to have that stored in SharePoint. I'm hoping that the Microsoft Stream team works with them to get that stored in Microsoft Stream. That way it's transcribed properly, it's facial recognition, all that cool stuff integrated with Microsoft Search. I think it'd be really nice if it ultimately goes to Microsoft Stream. The last thing that I saw with Yammer that is going to be pretty big for Cerner is the Outlook integration. So a lot of organizations, Cerner's probably not that different, really like the ability to have your Yammer notifications, your Yammer conversations come over into your Outlook by way of subscribing to the group. So you're going to be able to do that with Outlook like you always have been able to do. But what's cool is those messages will be actionable. So that means that like whenever you get an email from Yammer, you'll be able to like it, you'll be able to reply to it, you'll be able to add topics to it, basically do all of the things that you can do in the Yammer application without leaving Outlook. So the people who like to just kind of drive out of Outlook all day long, they won't be left behind by having a Yammer community. They'll be able to interact, and I think that's another thing that's going to help with the kind of leadership engagement and getting them involved with Yammer is the ability to say, just watch your email. Whenever you get replies, they'll come in for your email. You can reply back that way, and you get that leadership engagement without having to teach them how to get into Yammer. So I think it'll kind of break down barriers a little bit. There were a few features added to Microsoft Stream or announced at Ignite for Microsoft Stream that I'm excited about. There was three main ones that kind of stood out to me. The first is the audio enhancements that they showed in the keynote. I think that's going to be really cool because what they demonstrated was the idea of like beeping in the background at a construction site. And whenever they added the enhancement, basically the beeping was gone, the road noise from the trucks driving around was gone. I think that'd be really helpful in like a scenario like this where, there's music playing in the background, there's a waterfall behind me, and I wouldn't have to add noise reduction to that. So if I could just record that straight in Microsoft Stream, stay in the mobile app if I wanted to, I wouldn't have to do quite as much video editing. I think that's going to be nice with the audio enhancements. Something that's available today, apparently, from the Microsoft Stream team is additional languages for transcription and captioning. So I'm excited to get my hands on that and check that out for an accessibility need. I think that will help a lot. Then the thing I'm really looking forward to, along with the Yammer short form video, is it looks like they've added a lot of those like flip camera, I think that's the name of the company, adding that technology into the Stream mobile app, so that you'll be able to record video and edit video from your phone and kind of mark it up, add elements to it, things like that. I think is going to be really powerful and really cool, and hopefully drive more people into sharing their thoughts and their knowledge through Microsoft Stream and just using that as a platform to share information. Project Cortex was an interesting announcement. That was something that I didn't really see coming. I couldn't have predicted, and it looks like it's going to add a lot of intelligence across the whole breadth of Office 365. What they demoed on there in the keynote was the ability to have like an acronym or a project name gets highlighted automatically. So if someone is talking about the Delta project or something like that, it will recognize that that term has been used elsewhere around the organization, things that you have access to. So it will surface that up as an AI-generated knowledge base. So when you click on that little highlighted word, if it's an acronym, it will define that acronym for you based off of just the lexicon of the organization, which is amazing because I hate acronyms. Having those go away and having that be more accessible to people is going to be great for onboarding and new hire situations. But if it's not an acronym, if it's a term like the such and such project, when you click on that, it will surface up a page. Looks a lot like a SharePoint page. You can edit it and change like the web parts that are in it. But it's an AI-generated knowledge base that will give you a definition from the organization, so it will generate what it thinks this is about. You can edit that, of course. And then it will have the people who are talking about this, kind of have them as suggested contacts. So you're like, well, who's involved with this project? You'll get a list of suggested names, so you can reach out to those people. Files that are associated with that contact or that particular project, if you will. What's interesting about that is it's leveraging a lot like Delve, where it's things that you have access to. It's not going to show you anything that you wouldn't already have access to, you wouldn't be able to find by other means. It just brings them into that knowledge base, so it's topical, it's on the topic that it's talking about. It'll be interesting to see where this goes and kind of how organizations deal with it. They've told me in the booth, like, well, this isn't something that's rolling out over years, it's something that's going to be coming in months. It's going to come quick. Sure, it's going to be on by default. Sure, there's probably going to be very little you can do to turn it off. It's probably going to rely on the Microsoft Graph, and it'll be like Delve, where, hey, if you want the graph, you're going to get Delve. So we'll have to figure out what that means for our organization and for the legal and compliance and governance side of things. I'm sure there'll be a lot of concerns because it's kind of a little bit Delve-ish feeling. I'm excited about it because I like breaking down barriers between organizations, and having acronyms make sense. Stuff like that is going to be great, but I see a little bit of concern there. We'll have to, kind of ease our folks into it, and the idea of having, this intelligence kind of watching what we're doing from a, high-level organizational perspective, not necessarily like identifying certain people and what they're talking about, but, the chatter and the trends within an organization at the whole company level. Something that's interesting, I'm going to find out more about this week, I'm sure, is that Flow was renamed to Power Automate. So it's no longer Microsoft Flow, it's Power Automate. Kind of makes sense because of Power BI and Power Apps, but it's a pretty big rebrand. There's a huge community around Microsoft Flow, so I'm a little bit wary of the idea of just changing the name because people are really into Microsoft Flow. So see how that goes. So Outlook Mobile, I'm going to make a separate video about this, but one of the exciting things that showed up for me today in Outlook Mobile is the ability to play my emails. This is going to be demoed tomorrow in a theater session I'm going to try to make. I'm going to take a video of kind of what my experience is in it, show you how I think it works. But what's interesting is whenever you pair a set of Bluetooth headphones, or whenever you put your headphones on, your phone detects that it connected to some headphones. So the Outlook app at the bottom will say, play your emails on your AirPods or on your Surface headphones. And whenever you click on that, or when you say the wake word for Cortana, it will come up and play back your emails for you. Whatever in your focused inbox, it'll start playing those one by one. And if it's too long, it'll just kind of skip it and summarize the email for you. But at the end of the email, it asks you, what do you want to do? Do you want to pause? Do you want to flag this for follow-up? Do you want to archive it, delete it, so you can take action? I see this being a really cool feature for when I'm on my drive home. In between watching the Regarding 365 Message Center show with Daniel Glenn and Daryl Webster. In between those episodes, I can listen to my emails on my phone. So as I'm driving, I can clean out my inbox. I'm one of those inbox zero kind of guys. So maybe I'll get to leave a little bit earlier and kind of do that on my commute verbally without looking at my phone at all. And not have to have that 4 p.m. routine of going through all of my emails and making sure that everything is out of my inbox or I can't sleep at night. Finally, my last session of the day was Office 365 groups, like what's new and what's next. A couple of things that really stood out to me is the idea of a new admin role within Office 365 groups. I think that's going to be really nice for kind of peeling away, you had certain admins that you wanted to be able to control group membership, things like that at the group level, be able to rename groups. And they had to have maybe Exchange admin rights or user admin rights. They could add people to groups and remove them from groups. There's going to be a new group role so that without being a global admin or one of these other admins, you can say, all right, help desk, you have the group admin role. You can't mess with individual users. You can't mess with the mailboxes, but you can rename the group. You can control the group membership. You can kick people out of the group. You can promote somebody from a member to an owner. So I think it's going to help my team especially and our community management team a little bit, because a lot of those things in an initial help desk call, they can get solved right away. Hey, I need a new owner added to my team because there's no owners anymore. If the help desk can do that, that helps those other tiers focus on the project side of things. So I think that's just going to help user experience, getting things done faster, getting requests turned around faster. It's going to help everybody in the end. So I'm excited about that. And then something that they showed that end users are going to be able to see within Office 365 groups is if you're the owner of a group, you have to manage those request emails. It's like, hey, can I join this group? Hey, I need to join this group because of a reason that they give. Today, if you click on that to reply to it, it opens up a separate web page. What you'll be able to do with the new membership emails are the actionable notifications coming to a lot of the places in Outlook on the web, maybe Outlook Windows, Mac. We'll see how far it goes. But with those actionable emails, when you get a group membership request, you'll be able to see when it was requested. You'll be able to see what their reasoning was behind it, and then you'll be able to approve or deny that right from that email. So without clicking anything else, going out to a web page, you'll just be able to say, yeah, approve, or no, deny. And what's really cool that they showed off was whenever you click on the approval part, so say I approve somebody's access request, the other owners who had that access request in their mailbox, when they click on that email, it will be updated automatically. So a lot of times, if I go to approve or deny somebody from joining a group that I own, it comes up and it says, oh, somebody already responded to this. Well, now that'll be baked into the email, so I don't have to do anything. It'll be really, really nice. That's about it for today. There was a lot of announcements, a lot of feature announcements specifically within Office 365. Thanks for watching, and I'll try to do one of these videos tomorrow with what I pick up tomorrow from the Yammer keynote, the Teams keynote, what their roadmaps are going to look like. I'm excited about what's to come.